Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Do I have a motion to approve the tentative agenda?
So moved.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Betty, will you read the minutes from our last meeting, please?
May 28th, 2024, Chairman Hopewell called the regular meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 9 a.m. Members present were Cluse, Rasmussen, and Helgevold. Motion by Cluse, second by Rasmussen to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carries. Minutes of the previous regular meeting of May 20th, 2024 were read and approved. Approved claims for payment. In open forum, Supervisor Cluse discussed the notification the board received concerning the proposed resolution objecting to the Iowa Utility Board's authority to enact eminent domain authority within Wright County for privately owned and operated carbon dioxide pipelines. Cluse has amended the resolution for Wright County and is recommending this to be put on the agenda for next week, June 3rd. Jeff Ivins, Community and Family Resources, spoke in open forum about the free trainings for substance abuse they offer. There is an office located in Clarion at the old Bradford Building on Main Street in Clarion. Drainage Administrator Courtney Morris presented the 2024 Drainage District assessments. Morris presented the amounts of administrative fees calculated at 3% and $5 per tract. That would be collected this assessment year. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to approve the 2024 Drainage District assessments as submitted. Motion carries. See the drainage minute book for the full minutes. Morris presented the 2024 joint assessments with Webster County, Hancock County, Humboldt County, Franklin County, and Hancock and Franklin counties. Motion by Cluse and seconded by Rasmussen to approve the joint drainage district assessment between Webster, Hancock, Franklin, Humboldt, and Wright County in 2024. Motion carries. See the drainage minute book for the full minutes. Adam Clemens, Wright County Engineer, gave an update on the secondary roads. There were 13 work orders completed last week. Motor graders bladed when able, and the weather, when able with the weather. And there were roads that were closed due to water over the roads. Crews are reclaiming hard surface roads west of Madison Avenue and north of Highway 3. The deck on the C-70 bridge was poured last week and hope to have the bridge open in the next month. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Cluse to adjourn the meeting. Motion carries.
Any additions or corrections? If not, they will stand approved as read. Open forum. Anybody online or here like to address the board? Bob?
First, I'd like to thank you guys for the ordinances that you have already passed on the drainage district and the secondary roads. The next thing you have this morning, I'm hoping you're going to John Deere with Shelby County and it's what is it, 19, yeah. Not being able to use eminent domain for the county. I think that would be excellent. I think it'd be excellent for now. It doesn't say that you're against the pipeline, but it says that they have a few more hoops to jump through. I don't know if you know, but last week, Mr. Bruce Rastetter himself quoted in North Dakota or South Dakota, wherever he's at, that I learned something new. There's two types of CO2. Anthropogenic CO2 and biogenetic. They will only capture biogenetic, which is on the side, because corn itself has a neutral, they call it biogenetic because it's a neutral CO2. As it's growing, it takes all the CO2 in. So when you harvest the corn, the stalks and stuff that go back in, it's already been taken out of the air and it's just putting back what it took out. That's the explanation I read of it. This is only about 42%. This will therefore make 42% of the other CO2 will just still go into the atmosphere. The lowest rating they can get is 19% below, and it has to be after the IRS came out with their ruling last week too. But you have to show to be the SAF fuel, you have to be 50% below what is now coming out of the smokestacks. So things have changed a whole lot. And unless. I just hope you people realize that just a little slowdown on this would really help things even more, okay? Because there's too many things popping out. When you've got the EPA and the IRS coming out with new rules. Actually, the EPA came out the first week of May. And the guy at the article I read, they were just totally confused. Well, the IRS came out and it's actually the Z45 is what would be qualifying. Well, it's not gonna qualify according to the IRS rules today.
Yeah, the Z45, my understanding is for, a way for not only an ethanol plant to be paid, but also a producer who produces corn with a low carbon score.
Right, but you have to do all three of those things. You can't do one.
Yeah.
I think I sent that article to you guys. And I've got a satellite marketing thing that I get all that extra news from. Yeah, you have to have cover crops, no-till, and some type of different nitrogen type application or use.
Right.
So we aren't gonna see much around here.
The producer's not gonna see much.
That's right, the producer isn't gonna see
Exactly.
much at all. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Yes, I'd like to speak just briefly about ordinances. 9 different counties in Iowa have already passed ordinances protecting their citizens from this possibly deadly hazardous CO2 pipeline. And I know we've talked about that here in Wright County. Planning and zoning is not having any meetings on the books in the near future. And evidently, if the pipeline isn't going through your backyard, you don't really know about it or you don't care. Can you as a board of supervisors go ahead and protect the citizens of Wright County as 9 other counties have done without that coming through planning and zoning? Coming straight from them, can you move ahead with ordinances without planning and zoning? Moving on anything, because they evidently are not going to.
That doesn't seem like the way the government should work, that
I mean, if you're willing to and you're wanting to pass ordinances and you have ordinances in your hand,
we have an existing ordinance.
I mean,
That-
is there
that-
an ordinance that they're looking at?
Pardon me?
Is there an ordinance that they're looking at,
That who's looking at?
that planning and zoning? I mean,
They have got copies of ordinances from the other counties that have passed those, yes.
Right.
Have they looked at that? Yes, they have. Do they have the information? Yes. Have they made a decision? No. Do I think that it's the Board of Supervisors' place to tell that board what to do? No, I don't believe that
I just
that's,
didn't know if there was if there's a workaround.
Um,
It has to come from planning and zoning before.
the planning and zoning ordinance, if you're gonna have setbacks, that's where that belongs.
Can we ask if there are any upcoming meetings that the planning and zoning are going to address this or?
I've had numerous conversations with Jeremy, who has had numerous attempts to get his board to commit to a meeting to make a decision, yes or no. If the answer is no, that we're not going to change an ordinance or we're not gonna do setbacks, I can work with that, and I think that the public can work with that. Do I think you'll be pleased? No, I don't think that you'll be pleased. But a no is better than I don't know. And Jeremy understands that. I think probably from your conversation on Friday, you understand that he understands that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. But no, I don't think that 3 people need to become the planning and zoning. I think that that's why we have members of the public that sit on that board.
Okay, just looking at all the options, we're just.
I did send out an email
Waiting.
late last week, and I did receive 2 replies this weekend, so
Okay,
I will be moving forward with something.
Mhm. Okay,
Anybody else?
I would like to introduce everyone, Jenny. My new hire, she started on Friday, Jenny Peterson, she's from Belmont, she is the office clerk receptionist.
Oh,
She's already dove in and working hard, and so just want to introduce her to everyone.
welcome.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, item number 6, Peggy. Request abatements for US Fish and Wildlife drainage assessments.
So we sent out delinquent notices in May, as we're required to, and of course, we hear back from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. With all of their code sections stating that we cannot be paying them any bill. So here I am presenting their letter. And requesting an abatement. The 3 drainage districts, DD 6 is $10, DD 90 lateral B is 5209, DD 117 is 219.64.
And that's an abatement that they.
They're
they
not
do
subject
not
to
pay,
drainage.
Yeah,
I will make a motion to approve reluctantly, but that's the way the law reads right now.
I will second that.
Nothing?
Any further?
You, my,
I know,
my point of view on this has clearly been stated.
okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay.
Motion carries 2-1.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7, review and act on resolution 2419, objecting to the Iowa Utilities Board authority to enact eminent domain authority within Wright County. Privately owned and operated carbon dioxide pipeline. This was brought to our attention last week. We sent this out, Dean.
Yeah, and I had, had a conversation with, Steve Kinkle, who is the chairman of the Board of Supervisors for Shelby County, that I've worked closely with on a lot of the pipeline issues. They had passed this, and ultimately, I'll read the last part of it. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Supervisors of Wright County, under the authority of Iowa Code 331.301, subparagraph 1, shall exercise any power and perform any function it deems appropriate to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and property of the county and its residents, and to preserve and improve the peace, safety, health, welfare, comfort, and convenience of its residents. Based on the findings of the Iowa Supreme Court in the Iowa Putney versus Iowa Utility Board, the Wright County Board of Supervisors finds in fact that they are not limited by Iowa Code 331.301.1 or subparagraph 1 to be inconsistent with the laws of the General Assembly in protecting and preserving private property takings utilizing eminent domain due to the lack of public purpose, where in this case, the sole purpose is private economic gain by Summit Carbon Solution and affiliates. Therefore, the Wright County Board of Supervisors objects to the use of eminent domain for private economic gain and urges the Iowa Utility Board not to grant Summit the use of eminent domain for this project. And I would make a motion to approve resolution 2024-19.
Second,
Second.
any further discussions? Dean, how do you vote?
Aye.
Rick?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carried. This resolution is passed.
So that's the same as the Shelby County, except for the
Yes, sir.
Wright County.
That's correct.
Changing Wright County is.
Which the original correspondence with the Iowa Utility Board that I submitted back in, I don't know, November of, I think it was 2001, stated that we were against the use of eminent domain for private gain.
Okay, item 8, Jeremy, secondary roads update.
Last week's operations, blades, total miles graded for the week was 468 miles. Open to closed roads, we had 5 or 6 closed roads that were due to the flooding, flash flooding, so open those roads up, they're underwater and touch them up. Trucks are hauling their granular program and also hauling spot loads to any roads that had issues, dark spots. Granular program for scheduled rock are 53.33%, 48 of 90 segments. Had a slow week on work orders due to, obviously the Monday holiday. We had 4 service repairs, or 4 service work orders and 1 repair. And then we're working on a pretty large blowout here on the Lake Road. We had a block tile underneath our pavement, so that's taken us a while.
Blocked with corn stalks.
No, it was collapsed clay.
Uh-huh.
So we ended up 3 of them were collapsed underneath the northbound lane, so we've been at that pretty.
And that was underneath that tile too.
Yeah, it runs underneath that culvert.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It's a 36-inch.
and plus a phone line or something was
Fiber.
through there, fibers
Yeah,
through
you gotta
there.
hand dig around fiber, so it's been a battle, but the guys got it on Thursday. So we will end up having to patch that with concrete, because we had to come out into the road anyways, so that'll be later on this year that we'll patch that, let the gravel settle, so.
Any update on the bridge in Wilson?
Yeah, so bridge on Wednesday or Thursday, we started pouring the open rail. It's basically about a 12-inch box underneath each stub. We'll pour that, and then this week we'll finish pouring the open rail. And they're backfilling the abutments right now, putting in drainage and backfilling abutments, so we're still on schedule for end of the month, first part of July.
Oh,
It should be
excellent.
open, so.
Let's move right along.
It's been a great project, and it's the best contractors we've been with for a while, they're doing a really good job, so.
And we'll encourage them to bid on the.
Yeah, the one down the road,
One down the
I've already put that in there, so.
Thank you. Any old business, new business, or update on meetings, gentlemen?
I was at the annual meeting for UDMO. I took over as president this last week. Wednesday, I believe it was, Wednesday night, or Tuesday night, excuse me. Other than that, nothing else.
I had a CFR meeting on Thursday, by Zoom, as almost all of them are anymore. Continue to, do well, even though we've merged with, I mean, the thing just keeps growing and growing. Iowa City, Des Moines, Ames, Story, City, Webster City and Fort Dodge, all locations, and then all the satellite locations that we have around, as was mentioned in the minutes, Evans that gave the report last week, out of the Bradford Center is where the CFR point of contact is for Wright County. And then, I've got a call into Ryan Mosdam on an update on how we're doing on the tile work out at the county farm. There was 3 strings that were put in on the side hill to the south of the old landfill. And they are working on east of there now, and on that part of the property that goes up towards the transfer station, office and scale area. So,
Repairing,
pardon me,
what was he doing to it? Just
Um,
repairing,
putting tile in,
oh, he's tiling, okay,
he's doing some tiling, that's correct.
okay.
I had no meetings last week. It's quiet.
Election day tomorrow, so get out there and vote, do your civic duty.
Okay, nothing else before the board. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
You're adjourned.